Every story has a Marcus, the partner who covered for you, the cellmate who drew the map, the neighbor who showed up with beer and asked no questions, the man through the wall who kept tapping back. You've seen him before. Different face, different role, same name. This is his story. His name is Marcus Webb. That's where this starts. Not with the cell, not with the verdict, not with the 14 years. With a man who had a name and a career and a life that made sense, and with a specific Tuesday morning, everything stopped making sense and never fully started again. This is his story. All of it. From the beginning. Part 1. The FBI years. Marcus joins the Bureau at 26. He passes every test. He scores in the top 3% of his academy class. His instructors write notes about his pattern recognition, his ability to hold contradictory information simultaneously without forcing a premature resolution. One instructor writes that Marcus asks better questions than most agents twice his experience. Marcus files this away and doesn't mention it to anyone. That's also something the instructors note. He's assigned to the Washington field office and given a partner named Delgado, who has been there for 12 years, and who teaches him, over 2 years of shared cases and shared coffee and shared silences and surveillance vans, what the job actually is versus what they told him it was. Delgado has a theory he delivers in pieces, never all at once. The theory is this: federal law enforcement is not about truth. It's about provable truth. The difference between those two things is the entire job. You can know something completely and be unable to use it. You can prove something partially and close a case. Learning to navigate that gap without letting it corrupt your relationship to actual truth is what separates the agents who last from the ones who don't. Marcus takes this seriously. He builds his cases carefully. He documents everything. He becomes the agent other agents call when they need someone whose notes are airtight, whose chain of evidence will survive cross-examination. He's 31 years old, and he already has a reputation for being the person you want on a case that actually matters. He meets Rodriguez on a joint task force targeting a money laundering operation out of Miami. Rodriguez is DEA. Faster, more instinctive, more comfortable operating in gray areas. Marcus finds this frustrating at first, and then instructive. Rodriguez makes leaps that turn out to be right without being able to explain why. Marcus explains everything and is right about 60% of the time. Together, their combined right percentage is higher than either of them individually. The Miami case closes with 8 convictions. They shake hands afterward, and both understand this is the beginning of something. They work together on 3 more joint operations over the next 2 years. A narcotics distribution network out of Houston, a money service business in Chicago fronting for a cartel, a human trafficking operation that required 6 months of undercover work and resulted in the largest single trafficking bust in that region's history. Rodriguez calls him after Chicago and says the thing about working with Marcus is that you always feel like you're operating at full intelligence, like nothing is being hidden from you or simplified. Most people give you the version of the situation they think you can handle. Marcus gives you the actual situation and trusts you to handle it. Marcus doesn't know how to respond to this, so he says, "Thank you." Rodriguez laughs and hangs up. He doesn't see it at first. How could he? But there's a raid in year 3 of their working relationship that goes badly in ways that can be explained by circumstances. And Marcus, who was there, who saw the positioning, who knows what a compromised operation looks like, files away. He watches. The weight starts dropping off Rodriguez. The eyes change quality. There's a hypervigilance that wasn't there before. Not the useful kind that comes from experience, but the brittle kind that comes from something else. Marcus watches. He waits. He gives it time to become something he can be certain about. He becomes certain on a Thursday evening in a parking garage after a debriefing. He walks Rodriguez to his car. He puts his hand on the door before Rodriguez can open it. He looks at him for a long moment. Then he says 4 words. "I know what's happening." Rodriguez looks at him. Marcus looks back. Neither of them says anything for 30 seconds that contains several complete conversations. Then Rodriguez tells him everything. Marcus handles it the way it needs to be handled. He gets Rodriguez into a program through channels that don't immediately trigger a formal investigation. He covers the exposure at work, creates space, until Rodriguez is functional enough for the process to happen on terms that don't end his career. He becomes his handler. He witnesses the badge coming off. He shakes Rodriguez's hand. He walks out first so he doesn't have to watch him get smaller in his peripheral vision. 6 months later, Marcus gets a call. Not a promotion. Something different. A recruitment. From a different building with different acronyms and questions about what Marcus wants to do with the rest of his career. He says yes, because at 31, with 5 years of federal law enforcement behind him, the next level seems like the obvious move. He has no idea what the next level actually costs. Part 2. The CIA Years. His partner's